Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. So traders, in this video, I want to open up your eyes to, or inform you and educate you if you are new to the markets, or maybe you've been trading the markets now for maybe a couple of years and you've still been struggling and you're not sure the reasons why. I'm going to help you uncover the myths or the secrets or whatever you're going to call it, to you start to finally get a handle of what it actually takes to start moving forward in these markets in a big way, because I didn't understand this concept for quite some time. So we're looking at the markets right now. We're looking at, we've got gold and silver and GDX here, and we've got all the different US indices, transportation, SP, Dow, Nasdaq, stuff like that, right? But if I just bring up any chart right now, it doesn't matter where we are right now, okay? If I just bring up the S&P, it just doesn't matter, okay? Now I'm looking at the S&P 500 right now, okay? Now and it doesn't matter whether it's the S&P 500 or whether it's, you know, whether I bring up just say Apple stock, you know, it doesn't matter. Now, here's the thing. What a lot of people think they need to do is they need to know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? They're like, okay, well, I need to know what's going to happen tomorrow so I can make some money. And under the umbrella of you getting ahead in the markets, there's a lot of things there, right? But I want to cover one main thing that it's so important for you to grasp if you truly want to start to get ahead in the markets long term. What a lot of people do, right? They get in and say, well, it looks like it's bullish right now, or it looks like it's going to go up, so I'm going to buy the stock, or I'm going to buy some call options, or it looks like it's going to go down, so I'm going to short the stock, so I'm going to buy some put options. And so what a lot of people do is that we think, right? And again, I didn't understand this for quite some time, that I thought being successful in the markets was all about knowing when the next big move was going to be, and knowing and having the insider secrets, and you know what, it's the Fed's fault, it's the government's fault, it's the manipulator fault, the market was blah 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 blah, right? But at the end of the day, we can see that you know, stocks go up, stocks go down, and they make different patterns, right? All the stocks make different patterns. Now they make the same patterns, which is peaks and troughs, and you can use moving averages and so on and so forth, right? So the market in every single the market throughout all the stocks, doesn't matter what you're trading, whether it's currencies or futures or forex or cryptos or whatever, or even just stocks itself. If 2-minute charts, 5-minute charts, daily charts, they all operate the same way. And what I mean by that is they all operate, say, in peaks and troughs or highs and lows. And there's always a storytelling in the charts. Now, here's the thing that I completely missed and I didn't understand for so many years until I got it. Is that I always thought that I needed to know what was going to happen tomorrow, or I needed to know when the next big move is, or I needed to jump in on the insider secrets or something like that for me to be successful. I thought I had to be lucky. I thought I had to be part of the elite group to really make money out of this group, you know, or make money out of the stock market, where, you know, it's only the elite make money out of the markets, and most people don't. Now, most people don't because they have no idea what they're looking for, right? The elite, yes, the elite, Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, they're the elite, right? What do? They know exactly what they're looking for. They have good risk management, so on and so forth. But when it comes to you trading the markets, if you're looking to trade the markets for an active income, what's so important for you to get ahead in the markets is that we think that we need to be in the markets all the time through the stock market for us to get ahead in the markets. And, you know, I need to know when the market's going to fall. I need to know what's going to happen. I need to know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. And as you can tell, right, sometimes when even the market's going up, we have little periods of resting phases. We have a bit of a pullback. We have strong pullbacks and so on and so forth, right? Now, there's a difference between you investing in the stock market and trading in the stock market. If you're investing into the stock market, don't get upset of a day by day movement. Even if you're trading the stock market, don't get upset by a day by day movement, okay? But one of the things that really opened my eyes to trading is that successful trading is nothing other than you having a simple pattern that you like and that you are confident in, and then you start to trade that pattern only. So you may go through, you may look through your stocks every day, okay? You may do your scans every day. You may go through the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones or run your scans. And you're just looking for one particular pattern. Now, what is that pattern? You know, it could be anything, right? It could be a bull flag, it could be some sort of false breakout, it could be divergence, it could be a continuation move of that. It could be anything, you know what I mean? Now, in my Trading Secrets Weekly, I actually give you two different types of trading patterns or trading setups. Now, the trading setup, right, is really only a small part of it, because I believe any trading system out there really works. The thing is that you've just got to be consistent with that. So I think that I need to be in the market every single day to make money every single day. But what I realized soon is that me doing that, and if you guys have been trading for quite some time, you know exactly what I'm going to say here, I was over trading. I was getting in based on what I thought or what I hoped or what I'm fearful of missing out, and all of these. And why I say that's never a good idea. Never trade based on what you think, hope, or fearful of missing out. Trading the market based on what you think, hope, or fear is never a good idea. Now people say, well, John, if that's the case, what do you trade? Well, you trade a pattern, right? Your job is to wait for your certain pattern that you believe in. Now it could be anything, you know what I mean? And this is where you've got to stick to it. It could be like a bit of a bull flag formation, right? Like we got in gold just recently, or it could be a bear flag formation, or it could be a period where the market goes up and goes sideways for a while and then gives you a nice breakout, and you have your stop here and you have your risk to reward, right? You have your risk to reward. And a percentage of these are going to make money and a percentage of not. It could be like 80% profit, 80% of those are going to be successful and 20% not. You must understand that even the elite have losing positions, right? Like if you look at Ray Dalio, the most successful investor of all time, he still has portions of his portfolio that when he buys stocks, that don't work out, right? It's just the way it goes. It's not that they know, it's not like they're going to make money on every single stock. You know what I mean? It's like that's the way it works. Some stocks are going to do really, really well for them, and other stocks are not. They're going to balance it out through there. So the important thing is that the first thing is that for you to get ahead in the markets, if you want to be part of this trading arena, the successful traders out there, one thing that's made me do really well out of the markets is that I'm only looking for a certain pattern that I'm comfortable with, like I really understand. And then when I see that pattern, I know exactly what the pattern looks like on the chart. So the stocks, I could be looking at the market or doing my scans or looking for this pattern, and it may not show up for a whole week. That's okay. You don't trade, okay? You just stay on the sidelines. But John, if I'm not trading, I'm not making money. But if you are trading based on something that it's just a hope or a think, what's likely to happen? You're likely to lose money, right? So you end up going backwards. See how it's counterintuitive? So the less you actually trade, which simply means you're just trading one certain pattern or a couple certain patterns, the more money you're likely to make. I'm telling you right now, like this year so far, I've taken probably 25% less trades than any other year, but I'm having the best year ever. Now, why is that? It's not because I'm lucky. It's only because I'm just waiting for my certain setups. And sometimes, you know, I might be looking at the market because I trade the US stock market with options over it. And I also look at the Forex and futures. So I may trade the markets for 4 or 5 hours a day, sometimes 6 hours a day. Now, when I say trading the markets, I'm just simply doing my scans. I'm looking at the market. I'm doing my research. You know, it's like anything. It's like anything. It's right. Sports. It's like if you're a property investor, what happens, right? You've got to look through 100 deals to find one really good deal. Well, that's like with the stock market, right? You're flicking through the stocks to try to find that one thing that meets your criteria, right? It meets what you're doing, and then it's just you doing the work. It's just doing your scans, going through the scans. Okay, no, there's nothing today. I may look at the stock market for 1 to 2 hours, you know, every day, which I do, looking for good trades on the daily charts to hold for a couple of weeks, maybe up to a month. And then I'm looking for that. And then I look at the Forex and futures markets where I'm trading the 2-minute charts, 5-minute charts mainly. And I'm sitting there for maybe 4, 5, 6 hours a day. A couple hours in the morning, a couple hours in the evening, and that's when I'm good to go there. But my job is just to sit there and watch these charts unfold with the futures and Forex, is just to wait for my certain pattern. And if there's nothing there, then I can't trade. Even if something looks really, really, really enticing, that's where it's like, no, I can't trade, because if I do trade that, I know most of those trades that I think or hope is going to be a good position, not based on this certain pattern that I believe in, then I know I'm going to go backwards. So if you're trying to get ahead, if you're really, really, really trying to get ahead in the markets, this is where you're going to get stuck, because yes, you may trade based on what you think is a good idea, and you may get lucky. But it's not about you being lucky. If you want to be long-term, if you want to be part of these markets 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it's so important to become discipline to just say, oh, this is the pattern I'm looking for. And if you don't have the pattern, that's where you have to invest in some coaches. You know, if you believe in me, then you might be good for my private coaching program, where I teach you my #1 trading strategy I trade. That gets a 90% success rate, by the way. Now, yes, it does get a 90% success rate, but guess what? There's not a lot of trades throughout the entire year. That's the reason why it's really, really, really successful. You know, there might be only a couple of dozen trades on the stock market, maybe even as low as 1 dozen. You know, maybe 10, 12 trades throughout the entire year like that. Maybe even a couple of dozen. You see what I'm saying there? So it's through this process that if you really want to become part of this trading game, you want to become part of this trading world, that you just look for your pattern. So you may be looking for your pattern, but if you're trading, say, a 5-minute chart or 15-minute charts on the stock market, well, guess what? You're looking for the same pattern. So whether you're trading a 5-minute chart, if you're trading, say, a bullish flag, and you know exactly what the flag looks like, okay? And you know exactly what the entry bar looks like as well too, right? So you have your setup. This is what, if you're trading, say, bull flag here, this is the setup here. And this here right now is say the entry bar. Well, you know exactly what that looks like. So you're looking for that. So whether you're looking for a daily chart or a 2-minute chart, it's the same thing, right? So if I'm trading the 2-minute chart on the Forex or futures, guess what? I'm looking for the same setup I am looking for on a daily chart, because it's really all different markets, but it's all the same machines, the same humans running every single market, right? So therefore they make very similar patterns. So therefore, I'm just looking for my pattern that I know that I really truly believe in. And from that process, right, once you start to adapt this mentality of, if you trade based on what you think over fear, that's when most people lose money. I had a comment in one of my YouTube videos saying, John, how's your trading gone lately? Because a lot of people are losing a bunch. My trading's gone, I'm having the best year ever. Because why? Because I just wait for my certain pattern. I'm not trying to predict what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day. And at the end of the day, I understand even within my pattern, even within my trading setup, I'm going to have a percentage of trades like here, right? If you have an 80-20 rule, I know that portion of those trades are going to be losers. And I don't know if I take this trade today, right? Just say, for example, this is my setup here and I'm looking to take this sort of breakout sort of bar here. And I know that my system has an 80-20 rule. I don't know whether this trade is going to be part of the 80% or this part's going to be 20%. So I must always protect myself. See, a lot of people, and I saw a comment just recently that they're loading up right now, especially right now in gold and silver, right? Because they think they know what's definitely going to happen. And I've been there before, right? I've 400 or 500 grand in the market at one time, you know what I mean? And it was devastating. And the thing is that, because I thought I knew what was going to happen, right? It's like, it's please don't do that, because I guarantee you, if you think all these things, right, I'd rather you have a long-term, right? Long-term success in the markets. So that's the truth about you truly get ahead in the markets. It really is down to this nutshell. It's not about you trying to get in the markets every single day. It's looking at your trading throughout the entire year, right? Because some weeks are going to be slow and other weeks are going to be busy. Some months are going to be really slow and other months are going to be really busy. Some months there's going to be no trades with your pattern, and other months there's going to be you know, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 trades. You know, some weeks there's going to be 0 trades, and next week there might be 6 or 7 trades. Some months there's going to be 1, 2 trades, and then the next month there's going to be 10 trades. You know, for the next 2 months you might have no trades, and then 2 months after that you might have 15 trades that are amazing. You see what I'm saying there? And and your job is just to say, okay, this is what I'm waiting for, and if I take a trade based on nothing other, if I take a trade that is not meeting this pattern that I believe in, that I've done my testing, I've done my research, then you're just gambling, right? And that's why most traders don't do well in the market, because they trade the markets based on what they think or hope or they're fearful of missing out. And it's not based on a probability strategy. Say, okay, if you took this exact same pattern 10 times in a row, 8 times it's likely to be successful, 2 times not. If you're losing, call it with options, if you're losing with options, average say 50% per trade, for 20%, and the other trades you're averaging 50%, call it a 1-to-1, right? Then guess what? You're making money, right? And then obviously, you know, but the 80% of the trades, right? You're probably likely to get 50% of those are likely to do maybe 100% or maybe 200% within the markets. Now, by the way, guys, your ability to be able to do well out of the markets, right, is your ability to be able to be able to control your emotions, right? Because there's a lot of fears that stops you, right? Like when you first get into a trade, Amongst everything I've said here, find your pattern, understand that every single trading system, every single pattern that you try to trade, which is basically a trading system, has a win-loss ratio. And within that win-loss ratio, within that win-loss ratio, you don't know whether today the trade you're going to take right now is part of that 20%. So protect yourself. If this trade is part of that 20%, which is just a normal thing of how the markets work, well, guess what? Then you understand that, right? And so from all that and from all this process, if you move forward and you start to trade, if you move forward and you start to trade based on what we're talking about here, all right, then you can start to see some really, really, really good growth. But trade in the market is more about looking at a block of time instead of an individual day. And what I mean by that is that so many people are trying to make money every single day, and that's the wrong thing to do. What I like to do is I like to look at my trading as a yearly thing, right? So I start my year, I end my year, and it's like, okay, then I made this much money per year, right? Where most people are trying to make money every day to make X amount of money per year. Well, that's not in reality. That's, you know, when people do the job thing, right? When it comes to income, they want to make $2,000 a week, which is $100,000 a year. Now, fantastic, right? But that's not how the stock market, or that's not how trading works, not how trading income works. Yes, you may be able to make 100 grand per year, but you know, some months you're going to have no trade. So guess what? There's no income. And the next month you might make 20 grand. But do you see how that works out? Well, the next month you might make 12 grand. And the next month, next month you might make only 5 grand. Next month you might be down 2 grand. Next month you might make 30 grand. Do you see how that works, right? It's like, or next month there might be 0. You might not have had any trades for the whole month, and the next month you might make 16 grand. Do you see how that averages out to maybe 100 grand per year? But it's never a constant. If people say if you like to make $1,000 a day, that sort of stuff, it's like no, that's total false. It's total BS. That's not how real trading works, because it ebbs and flows, right, throughout the stock market. Yes, you can make good money throughout the entire year, but please look at if you trying to make money with the stock market, it's been having your pattern, understanding that it ebbs and flows. Some weeks there's going to be lots of those patterns that appear and you trade them. You don't know which one's going to be part of the loss ratio or which become part of the win ratio. And then from that, you got to understand the ebbs and flows of how trading income really works, right? See, like my income with trading, over the year I do well, right? But some months I'm just like, there's some months or some weeks there's just nothing there. So I've made no income that week, or I have made no income that month, right? There's some months there where I don't take any trades. Well, guess what? I made no money, made 0 money. But that's okay, I didn't lose any money. And next month I might come back with a really good month. You see how that works? Now, the last thing I want to touch on this thing here, and my whole mission here is just to really open up your eyes to the forest from the trees. And like, no, it's not the elite that do well out of the markets. It's not only a few percent of people, lucky people can do well out of markets. You too can. You can, right? You've just got to work on that discipline of, okay, I've got to stop taking these other things based on what I think or hope, and then trade these patterns. And then the last thing I want to say is that things that's going to really stop you from moving forward is your fear. See, there's a lot of things that, right? One of the biggest things that helps me do well in the markets, right, is having that what I call a not give a shit factor. And what I mean by that is that whenever I get into a trade, I have a small risk on my trading account every single time. So even if this one thing is a losing trade, my account may be down a couple percent. I'm whatever. The reason why that's so important to you is because if you're trying to let your profits run, and for you guys that got wild positions right now in silver and gold, if it pulls back, you're going to feel this, I guarantee. And you're going to start to have these things in your mind. Maybe he's right. Maybe it's going to pull back. Maybe it's going to crash. Maybe I'm going to lose money. Maybe I should get out. And then you'll get out, and because you're trying to protect yourself of not losing money. And guess what happens? You miss out on the big bull run, right? So there's a few fears in your trading that's going to stop you from trying to let those runs run, right? Firstly, when you get into a trade, right, you're fearful of having a losing trade. So that's there. But when it starts to run on for profit, now what you've gone from fearful of having a losing trade to fearful of losing the profit, right? Because the loss factor is so much more powerful than the gain factor. See, you may have made 100%, you make 200% return on a trade, or say with an option, but then it pulls back against you and then you get out at 100%. Oh my goodness, I could have made 200% on that trade. You can't do that with trading. Okay, because sometimes that's going to happen, and guess what? Sometimes that 200% return, guess what? It's going to that trade. Some of those trades are going to run on for 4 or 5 or 1,000% return. I've had it happen to me. And that's where it's important not to watch the individual flow of, oh, I'm up 100%, I'm down 200%, I've made this much money, I lost this much money. See all that emotion? I don't do that. I just I look at the chart, I get in on the chart, and when the chart says get out, then I go to my trading platform and then I exit. I don't really care what it's doing today. And so the more you can control that fear of, the first one is fearful of having a losing trade. It's like, guess what? You're going to have a losing trade. You're going to have losing trades throughout your career. Just accept that. Accept the fact that when you get into this trade today, it may be a losing trade. It may be just want to be part of the 20%. But on the flip side, once you start to get good at trading, then that's having that emotional confidence to say, you know what? No, I'm letting these trades run. Now, when you let the trades run, right, you need to have some sort of a rule to keep you in. Now, I just use like a short-term moving average for me personally. Now, I have a very high probability trading setup in the first place, and then I use a short-term moving average, right? So, for example, I use, see this very short-term moving average? I just use that as a scaling out technique, right? I know that if I'm getting in on Apple and the market runs up, oh, look, cool, it closed there, I'm getting out, you know what I mean? So, sort of thing. But I get in on my setup, and then I get out, I get in on my setup, and then I get out on my setup based on that. Make sense? And so I hope this video here has opened up some of the if you are brand new to trading, or if you've been trading for a while and you're not sure why you're not getting ahead, then this is the reasons why. Please share this video with some people that you think that may need this advice if they're truly starting, even if they're looking at getting in the stock market. Some of them, this video here will open up their eyes to say, okay, what do I need to start moving forward? And then guess what? Don't expect to be perfect day one. No, when I started understanding this, I had my trading plan, and then I had what I think or hope or fear or looks good or not sort of stuff, all these other trades, right? And guess what? You know, when I first started, 50% of my trades will be trading plan, trading strategy. Now the 50% will be shit trades. What I think, what I hope, what I fear, what looks good, on all this sort of stuff. And then I keep a spreadsheet of all my trades. I'm like, man, damn. You know, if I just stuck to my trading plan this week, 90% of them were successful, 1 was lost, and then 80% of what I think, hope, or fear was a losing trade. And then guess what? Then the next month I got even better. You know, 60% of my trades were trading plan set up, and 40% weren't. And the next month I got even better, where 80% of my trades were trading plan setups, and the other ones were crap. But I didn't start to do this until I just continued to try to get a little bit better each day. I'm just trying to be disciplined. And the only way that I got better at that is I had to say, you know what, today and just focused on today. Forget tomorrow. Today, I'm only going to take this setup. And if there's no setup, then tomorrow I'm going to do the same thing. Tomorrow I'm going to do the same thing. Tomorrow I'm going to do the same thing. And then that's when you're going to start to hit the patience thing, right? Because if you've had, and I really do mean that, if you have a trading setup and you haven't had a trade for a whole week and you've been looking at the markets, maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, maybe you haven't had a trade for a couple of weeks. Now you're starting to become impatient and fearful because you're fearful that there's not going to be another trade like this. That's when you start to force it and it goes backwards on you. So guys, please share this video with some people that you think that really need this advice, because my whole purpose in this video is to really help those individuals see the forest from the trees of, if you want to be part of this trading community, what it really takes to get ahead in these markets. And that's what I see with this video. So leave a comment below and let me know what you think about what I've said in this video. So I've spent almost 20 hours studying the past boom and crashes in the markets. We're talking about the 1987 crash, 2001 crash, and the 2007 crashes. And one thing I've noticed amongst all these crashes is that there is 2 patterns that actually form in these markets. Now, the first pattern is a signal that there is a potential top in the markets, and the second pattern is like a confirmation before we start the bear market or that crash. And I've studied this, and what's happening right now in the markets is we have just formed the very first pattern in today's market right now, and all we're looking for is the second pattern. So over the last 20 hours, I've noticed all these have very, very, very similar patterns, and these two patterns show up again and again and again. And I'll spend 20 hours looking at this. So this is what I'm going to do right now. As you know that I have the Trading Secrets Weekly, I've just launched this, where every single week I do live coaching and training, and you can get a free trial for 1 week as well too if you go to tradingsecretsweekly.com. In my next training and coaching session, I'm going to be sharing with you the two patterns that have formed over 1987, the 2001 and the 2007, and I'm going to share with you exactly what those two patterns are and how the first pattern has already formed in the stock market right now, and all we need now is the second pattern to form to start the potential next bear market. If you are interested in that, and I'm so excited to share with this, go to tradingsecretsweekly.com right now, sign up for your 1 week free trial, and I'll see you on my next live training, and you'll be able to see that all in detail. So go to tradingsecretsweekly.com, and I'm going to share with you all the details. I'm going to show you the 1987, 2001, the 2007, and how the very first pattern has already formed in the market right now. I'm going to show you exactly what it is, and also what to look for in the next the second pattern. Because if the second pattern forms, it's going to be absolutely amazing on the downside. And once you're ready for it, you can do really, really, really well. So go to tradingsecretsweekly.com right now, sign up, grab your free trial, and I'll look forward to seeing you on my next training and coaching session where I'm going to share with you all the details. So go do that right now. Go to tradingsecretsweekly.com, sign up for your free trial, and I'll see you on the next coaching session.